Hey, what's cracking? How are you doing today? Well, I hope this video's found you on top of the world. I really hope things are going your way. But if for any reason things haven't been going your way today, whether they are or not, at the beginning of my videos, if you've never watched one, I always like to start my videos off by us taking just a moment and stopping and thinking about a few ways that we're blessed in our life, a few things that we're thankful for, to change our perspective if our perspective isn't what we would like it to be. Because in this life, perspective is everything. And the way that you look at life will determine on whether you're happy or not in your life. And I, for one, like to be happy. I don't want to sit around and dwell on the things I don't have, something that someone else does. I don't like to sit around and think like that. I like to think about the things I do have, ways that I'm blessed, and there are so many. The fact that I'm alive and I'm healthy and I'm making this video, or if you're watching it, then it's you're able to watch the video and you're breathing and you're alive. And there's a lot of things to be thankful for. And if you look at things that way, and you'll have a lot more positive attitude, and your perception will be better, and things will look a lot better in your life. And so we like to start the video off doing that. And if it's the first time you've watched, my name's Ricky Dye, and I went to prison when I was 15 years old. And I was there for 20 years, 5 months, 29 days. I always say that at the beginning, so you guys that watch every time, I'm sure you probably fast forward past this part of the video, maybe, I don't know, but I like to, it helps me also when I make the video to remember to think about things the positive way. So it helps me too. And that's all I'm doing in these videos. I'm trying to use the experiences from my life, mistakes that I've made, to try to pass that down and maybe keep you from bumping your head the way I did. And hopefully I'll save someone else from making a mistake like I have. So the way that I've decided to do that is I have started at the very beginning. And I told you about my crime, why I did it, what happened, how it went down, how I was certified as an adult, went to the juvenile center. Then I was sent to Lexington. I went through A&R and went to Lexington Yard there, and I got in trouble. And now I'm in McAllister. And today in this video, I'm going to jump right back into that. So if you haven't caught up with me up till now, I'm what they call down the hill. When you first get to McAllister, you'll go to the F cell house, and I've explained it in other videos. And it's for orientation. And when you finish that, they'll send you what's called down the hill, and you'll go down there, and that's more or less general pop for McAllister. But there is no such thing because you're locked down 24 hours a day. So I'm down there. I'm on Unit 1, C1. You have to work your way around to C3 before you can get a job or try to put in any kind of paperwork, try to get out of this place and get back to a medium security prison. So I'm living with a guy named Tuffy. Me and him are really close. We become good friends. He was 21, I think, 20 or 21, and I was 18. And there was another guy there that was pretty young, they went by the name of Shithead. It was across his stomach. It said Shithead across there. And he would say, "I'm the great and almighty Shithead. Who do you want to be?" And he was quite a character and a very good friend of mine. And we were all three very young when we were there, so we ended up being pretty close. And Shithead will come into a story later on. But as for now, it's me and Tuffy. We're on C1, and we're in this bare cell. We've got a TV and some steel bunks, and just sitting there day after day after day. You can look out the windows and see nothing but a concrete wall. But when you look out the window, it's through steel mesh because someone's tried to escape that way before. We get to go to rec once a day if there's enough staff. And, I've always been the kind of guy that if I sit back and I don't talk to no one or anything, my mind runs away with me, and I wonder what people think of me or what's going on. And it just really drives me crazy. So I'm the kind of guy that I want to go out and talk to people, get a feel of how they're thinking, how they feel about me. So I've kind of done that. I've go to rec every time it's open because I don't want no one to think I'm afraid. Because I'm only 18 years old, and Tuffy keeps telling me that his second cousin or second uncle or something, Alec, this guy, he comes over here every day trying to get me to show him my privates. Every day. My penis. Show it to me. Show it to me. He's terrible, man. And he pressures me every single day. And I've been in debt to the store man because I got myself in a wreck over a poker game, so can't afford to borrow anything. We have to just eat whatever's brought to us. Our meals through the day, good or bad, can't afford to borrow anything. And every day Alex putting pressure on me, and Tuffy keeps telling me, hey man, they're talking like, hey man, you need to be careful when you move around there, bro, because me and Tuffy are close, and he's trying to warn me, tell me that when you move around there, these guys are talking like you're a beautiful woman, dude. And that's hard for someone who has heart. When you think that you're pretty tough yourself, you consider yourself a man, and these guys are looking at you as if you're a female. Uh, it's very hard to deal with. And I had a hard time sleeping at night. And I didn't sleep very much in McAllister. And I've told you on other yards and mediums, a lot of times you get comfortable on that yard, and it's just like a little town you can't leave. And you just get used to it. It's just your life. But not in McAllister. You're afraid all the time, or I was. And I've had other people who was there with me, or I know that went there. And these guys, I know that they'll get down in a moment's notice. But these guys told me that they had panic attacks from being in that place and nightmares from that place. So it wasn't just me. The place itself makes you feel like something bad's about to happen. I don't know if you've ever had a feeling in your life where it just comes over you that something bad's about to happen, but you feel that feeling almost every day there. And there's nothing to do, and you're never going anywhere. If the people aren't right there around you to where you go to wreck with them. And I wanted to mention that. I told you a story about two guys, a guy stabbing a guy over two stamps 22 times. Well, I wasn't on the rec yard when that happened because it's a long run. It's like as long as a football field, and they only take 20 or 25 inmates out to rec at a time. So if you're not in a group of those 10 cells that are going together, like they might take the top run, then the bottom run, or it might take this side of the day room and then that side of the day room. But if you're not in that group, you'll never meet those people because they're locked down on the other end. So we knew that was going on in the rec yard. We could see him taking him to medical bloody. So I knew he walked to medical on his own. But I wasn't on the yard with him when it actually happened. And I'll never lie about that. I'm not going to tell you someone else's story. I'm telling you my story. And I'm not telling you what is right or what is wrong or how it should be. I'm just telling you what was, man. And it is what it is, and that's all it is. And I'm not putting, I have black friends on my Facebook list from prison. I have white people on my Facebook friends from prison. These guys are watching these videos, so you may as well say these videos are fact checked. If I say some bullcrap, man, they're going to call me on it. So I'm never going to sit here and bullcrap you. So I'm setting this up to tell you that, okay, I'm fixing to move around to C2. Okay, at this time I've been going out to rec, and I've kind of got a feel for everybody, and I'm getting along with everybody. So other than Alec putting this pressure on me and Tuffy telling me these people are talking about me like I'm a girl about to move around there, other than that, I'm doing okay. My mom's coming to see me when the doors open. And there's a girl. When I was at Lexington, I had a cell partner named Edward. And his brother came to see him. And his brother was married to a girl named Stacy. And Stacy had a little sister named Shelly. And his brother and Stacy had custody of Shelly because she was 16 years old and her mother had passed away. Okay? And she was coming up. She came to visiting room with them when they met with Edward. He was my cell partner at Lexington. So she was 16 years old. So he comes back, and you could take a Polaroid picture back then and take it back to the unit with you. This is 1991 when that happened at Lexington. So he brings picture back. Look at this girl. Look at this girl. She's too young for me. She's 16. She ain't too young for you, because I was only 17 then. So I send her a little letter and write her some poems and draw on an envelope and send her a picture of me. And she comes to visit me. And we were boyfriend and girlfriend for about a month there. And my mom gave me some money for a TV on my books. And she talked me into dispersing it to her. And my cell partner, Edward, and his brother was going to get this weed, and they were going to give my money back. But they ended up just taking my money. So I took her off my visiting list. I have nothing else to do with her. But now I'm in McAllister, and I'm lonely. And I've started writing her letters. We've been writing each other, and she's blaming this on this guy that had custody of her, that took the money, and it says it wasn't her. And this guy, Edward, that was my cell partner at Lexington when this all happened, I thought he was a pretty good friend of mine. I get lucky, and that's who they moved me in the cell with on C2. He was at McAllister too, but he had went ahead of me from a different yard. So he was a little ahead of me. So he was on C2. So boom, I'm lucky, right? I move in from Tuffy straight into a cell with a guy I've been in cells with before. I'm lucky, right? So I feel kind of safe about that, man. And I'm hoping they can keep us together. I can put my paperwork in and get out of here, man. I'm dodging bullets. Hopefully, I don't come into contact with anybody else. I'm only really in contact with the guys I go to rec with. I'm not playing poker no more. I'm not borrowing from anyone. I'm just paying these guys off. And other than Alec putting pressure on me, I feel like I'm doing okay. So they get me in the cell with Edward, and me and this girl's writing each other. And now she's coming to visit me again, and I feel like everything's going all right. And then all of a sudden, okay, I told you some stories when I was at Lexington about running with some weed for some Indians and helping them get some weed in the visiting room and stuff, and on the yard. And so the Indians were trying to pull me up. Well, this Indian that was the lead Indian, the main guy that was getting the weed at Lexington, is also at McAllister. But he's not on C side, he's on A side. But I bumped into him at Visit one day. He was visiting his wife, and I was visiting my mom, and we seen each other getting strip searched going back to our unit. And he said, I'll look out for you. And shortly after that, these killers, DP, okay, well, let me tell you that in McAllister, at the time I was there in 1992, there were 4 killers who everyone knew were killers who pretty much ran Seaside. And one of them's name was Head, one's name was Jack, one's name was DP, and the other one was Alec. Okay, DP and Alec were real close, and Jack and Heb were very close, and Heb was the main guy. He had been locked up the longest. Everyone looked up to this guy. Everyone says it's the hardest man. And so he has big respect from everyone. Brotherhood, it doesn't matter. He wasn't in the UABs, but he had big respect from them. He had big respect from the people who started it, loved this guy. And that was the thing, that in 1992, when I was in McAllister, there really weren't very many UABs. That's when it was all getting started. Before that, there was a different brotherhood. Okay, but it was very small, and there weren't a lot of people in it. And the UAB was just getting going. But those guys, they all looked up to Head because he was an older convict. And the guys who started were a lot younger than him. But they earned their stripes. Believe me, they were hard as they're supposed to be. They're everything that you think they should be. The leaders of the Brotherhood. They'll kill you at the drop of a hat. They're as tough as they come. They're everything they're advertised as. Make no mistake. And so that's why those kind of people are all at McAllister. And the other day you saw a deal on the news. And I saw a thing on the news, and it was at the women's prison, and it was about the Irish mob. And 2 girls in the Irish mob had cut an Irish mob tattoo off of another girl. So what happens is, at McAllister, the guys who lead everything, they lead the Aryan Brotherhood, they lead the IBHs, this is where the top dogs always end up, because guards find out who's calling shots, find out who top guys are, they try to lock them away. But when something happens and they get word what's happened and they decide they need to call the shot, somebody's asked, hey, we need your permission or whatever, and then they call this shot, sometimes they'll move them plumb out of state to keep them from being able to do it. But if they call a shot, if they tell them at Mabel Bassett, tell the women, Irish mob tells the women at Mabel Bassett to do something, they're going to do it. If they tell them to do it at Cushing, private prison, they're going to do it. If they tell them to do it at Granite, where the older guys are at, they're going to do it. It doesn't matter where it's at. Someone is going to do what they were told to do. And that's just how it is, and that's how dangerous it is. And that's why you can't afford to catch out or tell on someone. Catching out, you go to the police, tell them that you can't make it there, you're scared. So in order for you to leave, you've got to tell them who you're scared of and what's happened to you. There has to be a reason. So then you have to be a rat. And I was raised in prison that no matter what, you never catch out, no matter what. But it really only makes sense because if you're a medium security, you have 20 years to do, and you're going to be in prison for the next 10 years. And where are you going to run? There's only 6, 8 places that you can go to. They lock you up, ship you over here for your protection. Then they find out, they ship you over here for you can't keep running. There's nowhere to run to. So you can face the problem when it comes, or you can face the problem with everyone in the next spot. Because now instead of having a problem with a few people, you've went over here, now people find out, now the whole yard looks down on you like you are the biggest piece of crap that ever lived. It doesn't matter if you were in a no-win situation and that it's the only thing you could do to save your life. That doesn't matter. Now you're the biggest piece of crap that ever lived. Okay? And the way that people in there look at catch-outs is the way people out here a lot of times look at people that have been in prison. They don't want to give them a second chance. They look at them like they're the biggest piece of crap in the world. And that's why it's hard to get a job and stuff like that. They don't believe that you're still a human being. You're still a man. And a lot of the prisons, medium security, the guards still treat you like human beings. A lot of them you could talk to and have a decent conversation, but not in McAllister. In McAllister, treat you like you're an animal. Everything different at McAllister. In McAllister, they treat you like animals, and you, and the inmates and the convicts, the people that are there, treat each other like animals. It's the most dangerous place you could ever be. You don't even have to make a mistake. Smallest thing could happen, and it comes to a killing. There is no fighting in McAllister. Everything is automatically, if something's going to happen, it's going to be a killing. So anyway, this guy at McAllister, evidently one of the leaders of the Irish mob, it said on the news, called a shot, told these girls, so they cut her tattoo off. And that's what happens. You get in it, you make a mistake, shot's called, and then you can a lot of times they'll give you a choice to cover it up. But if not, then it gets cut or burned off, and that's just all there is to it. And you take that chance when you put that on. But whenever you're offered that, sometimes it's an offer of you take it or else. So it just depends on the situation, who you're on the yard with, the kind of guys you're on the yard with, what gang or set you're dealing with. It all depends on any number of things. So it just depends. You don't want to find yourself in that position, and that's why you want to not break the law and stay free. Do not let anyone ever upset you, get you riled up to the point where you'll make a mistake to find yourself in this position. Because now I'm over here on 2Pod, and I'm about to attract the attention of every killer on that unit. I told you there's 4 killers over here, so Alec's already been putting a lot of pressure on me. And I'm in debt to Alec and DP because they bailed me out on the poker game. So now I'm on Unit 2, and that's DP's unit. DP's the storeman on that unit. You can't borrow from no one else. If you need to borrow, you borrow from DP. I already owe DP and Alec. I'm not allowed to borrow from no one. If I get caught borrowing from someone, it's gonna get me stabbed. So that's it. I can't borrow from no one until I get them paid. But now I'm over on C, and I'm about to get them paid. And now I've got it paid down to where I only owe like, let's see, I paid it from 90, I paid 40, left 50, they taxed it to 75, I paid 40, that left 35, they taxed it to 50, I paid 40, that left 10, they taxed me to 15. Now I've only owed $15, but I can draw down 40. Now I've been waiting all this time to get these guys paid off. So if I want something, I can borrow me a bag of cookies, because they've took everything in my canteen every time because I owed it. So now I'm over here on 2. I only owe $15 more, and I asked DP, can I borrow a bag of cookies? And this dude went left on me, brother. I thought me and this dude were okay now. He's been talking to me. Everything's like it's cool. He laughs and plays jokes with me since I'm on 2. And I asked that man to borrow a bag of cookies, and went left on me. He told me that I was to never ask to borrow anything until that debt was paid. And I said, but Danny, I only owe you $15 more, and I'm going to have all of that. I'm going to have 40. Doesn't matter until you pay that debt. You don't borrow nothing from nobody. And I thought that dude might kill me over that, but I didn't ask for nothing else, and I went without it, and he didn't give me no cookies either. So this video is going to be a little longer because I want to let you know, but this is important that I get this out. So all of a sudden, now that I bumped into this guy Billy, this Indian guy who had ran the yard over at Lexington on the Indians part. At the time, the Indian Brotherhood wasn't going yet, and one Indian would usually be like the leader of all the Indians, and all the Indians would decide that. It wasn't decided by one person, and all the Indians stuck together, and that was it. There wasn't an Indian Brotherhood yet. And Billy had run the Indians at that yard, and it was because he had all the dope, but also because he had been in the longest, and he was a convict. All right, he was a good dude. So now he's at McAllister, and he's over on A, and I'm on C, and I bumped into him at visitation. So all of a sudden, DP comes over and puts a joint in my door and just gives it to me and walks off. In McAllister, a little bitty joint. It's the size of a toothpick, literally the size of a toothpick. No bigger. It is literally the size of a toothpick. Okay? And that costs $4. Well, barely what will go across the paper is $4 worth of canteen. And that's the only way you could get it. Okay, unless you could send money to someone, and then it was like you send $100, you get 25 of those little joints. There's no deals. It's almost all paper, It's barely enough to go across there. Usually you have to tear them open, put like 4 of them, 5 of them together if you want to get high. But that's what it cost, because this is maximum security. And they put this joint in my door, and don't tell me what it's for. Don't tell me what I owe. My cell partner, come on, Edward, hey, let's smoke it. Let's smoke it. Dude, I'm not smoking that. No way. So I save it. I put it in this ink pen, keep trying to get his attention. He won't come talk to me. The next day, the law library, there's this guy who works in the law library, and he comes around every day. He goes around all the cells, see if anyone needs law help, because it's against the law for you not to be able to get access to the law clerk in prison in case you need help on your case or your appeal. So this guy that works as a law librarian comes in and drops a joint in my drawer. Again, hey, what is this for? Shh, can't talk. You go, yeah, Head sent you that. Well, Head and Jack, that's the killers over there on 3. Jack's the barber. Head is the rum man. So they both get out all the time. DP's out all the time because he's a rum man. Alex rum man on 4, so he's out all the time. So these guys, they got the run of the unit. You can't borrow on 4 unless you get it from Alex. Can't borrow on 2 unless you get it from DP. Can't borrow on 3 or 1 unless it comes from one of those guys. On 3, it has to be Jack or Head. They run the store together. So those 4 got this unit on lock, and you can't borrow from no one else. And if you want to try to run a store, you have to ask their permission, and you have to pay them to run things back and forth for you, a cut. So really, you're not going to get your full interest because you're going to be splitting it with them if they let you do it. But you got to get their permission first. Okay? So all of a sudden, all these joints are getting dropped in there, man, and this stuff goes on for days. And this guy, Jack, I don't even know him. He walks up and hands one. Hey, man, let me talk to you. And he leaves anyway, and they're all drinking homebrew. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. My cell partner now, it's went on long enough that Edward is getting nervous. So nobody will talk to me. I can't get no answers. The dude that lives down the run, they've happened to left our beat. We're all hollering at each other out this hole beside our door. And I'm talking to this dude named Danny over here, because not the same one that runs it, but another Danny, because me and him were playing chess up on F cell house, pulling a string back together, playing chess, looking in a mirror. And he sends me a joint and tells me it's from Head. And finally, I couldn't take it no more, man. I was laying there every night, scared to death, because these are the killers over there. I know they like homosexuals. They like the ones that act like girls. Danny's got a homosexual in the cell with him. DP does. He's got a guy in the cell with him, and they're tight. They're together. They're married. I don't have to worry about it. His partner would be jealous of me. I don't have to worry about DP. He messes with me. So I'm going to tell you in the next one what they have me doing, what they have me up to too. But at this point, they're sending me these joints, and I can't figure out what for. So I'm thinking they're trying to put a move on me, man. So I'm not smoking them joints. So I sit down and I write them a kite. A kite is a note or letter that you take and you seal up and you slide to someone. That's called a kite in prison. So I sat down and wrote a kite, and I said, hey, look here, I know you guys are killers. I know that you like boys. And I don't mean no disrespect whatsoever. But I'm not a punk, and I will stand up for myself, and I'm not going to run. I'm not going to catch you. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not a homosexual, but I don't mean no disrespect. Hope you don't take it that way. Respect, Ricky died. And I showed it to my cell partner. He said, oh, my God, don't send that over there. Oh, my God, don't send that over there. And I was like, man, I'm sending it over there. I'm laying here every night having nightmares, thinking these dudes are going to murder me or something, going to try to rape me when I get around there. I can't handle it, dude. I'm not, I can't take it no more. I'm sending this over there. I've got all their weed saved. I'm giving all that shit back. I can't pay for that shit. You know, they don't just give people free stuff over here. They're over saying like I'm this beautiful woman about to move over here. All of a sudden, they gave me all these joints for free. Are you serious? No, man. No, man. This comes to a head today. If they kill me, they just kill me, man. I'm not going to go catch out. I'm not going to go catch out. No, man. I know everybody expects that. They look over here and they see me. Little old kid, 150, 160 pounds, long hair, little kid over here. And I'm thinking, trying to see myself the way that these people will see me. They all think I'm going to catch out. They think I ain't nothing, man. I'm not catching out, man. No matter what, they're going to kill me, man. I'm not catching out. I was fixed to kill myself. They can just kill me. I'm sending this over there. So I sent it over there. And when I did, my cell partner he was on the bottom bunk, made me trade him. He took the top and said he was asleep. He wasn't awake. And he was not witness to anything. So I thought me and him friends. We lived together at Lexington for a year. He helped me get my girlfriend. My girlfriend and her sister are still, they're family. Her sister is married to his brother. They come visit. But this dude ain't getting nothing to do with it. He's scared to death of these dudes, man. But he's doing 300 years. So he's terrified. Well, I don't blame him. I was terrified too. They're all drinking and everything else. Anything could have happened, man. I thought, here, they're going to come over here in a minute and open my door. They're going to get me, man. They're going to come over here and open my door and they're going to get me, man. And a little bit before that, man, they had these black guys that owed them some money. And DP told them he wanted the radio and they wasn't going to give it up. And they started opening their door, man. A minute, they were throwing that radio straight out that hole in that door. So, man, we're sorry, we're sorry. So I know they'll get him myself. So I've got over there. I've got the bottom bunk now. So I've rolled my mattress up, and I'm thinking as soon as they open the door, I'm just gonna grab the mattress, try to rush them, try to get out there in the middle of the day room. I know the guards ain't gonna come in there and save me if they start stabbing me. I know they're not going to, but hopefully I'm faster now. I'm just gonna keep running around the top, run, jump down the bottom, run. I'm just keep running around. Hopefully stay alive as long as I can. That's all I know to do. I ain't got nothing in my cell I can use as a weapon except for a pencil. I didn't know what to do, man. But thank the Lord, in a minute, here comes Head and Jack to pop the door, and here they come over there, and they meet up with Danny, and all three of them look up at my cell. DP, Head and Jack, and I think, oh man, here it goes. They're fixed to take me out. And they all start laughing and come up there. Hey, we're sending that because Billy scored over there on APOD. The Indian that you ran with this stuff, he said, you're a good kid. He sent us that stuff. He said, look out for you. So it really wasn't coming from them, it's coming from Billy. They just didn't tell me that. So now they're all laughing at me and stuff. So they thought that was cute. They're giving me a hard time, trying to get to know me. People, before they know you, they don't make moves. They wait until they get a feel for you first. And that's what just happened. But it almost scared me to death. It was funny to them. But it's about to get a lot more serious because I'm about to move right around there with them. And this went over 25 minutes. So much as I want to, I'll cover that in the next one. But we'll be straight to it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. You guys are blowing my mind, man. I'm over 400. I need 1,000. I need 4,000 watch hours, and I'm at 1,500. So I want to tell you this before I leave. My mama told me when I was in prison, I lost sight. I thought I was never getting out. And she would ask me, please don't put tattoos on your face. So all my tattoos, I have many of them. But if I have on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, you can't see a one. And she asked me not to get them on my face. She said, I guarantee you, even though you don't believe it, one day you'll have a life after this. And you're going to have a good life because God promised me that. She said, I know that it's true. One day you're going to have a good life. You're going to get married. You're going to have your own home, and you're going to have a good life. And so far, I've got everything but one thing. I'm not yet able to completely support myself. I'm okay. I have everything I need. I don't need anything from anybody. Don't take it that way. I'm not saying that. I have everything I need to be happy. But I'm on disability, Social Security. I can't get along with people to hold down a steady job. So I have to stay to myself because I'm not dependable. I have a lot of night terrors, throw up a lot, can't hire a guy that might not be able to show it to work. So I'm on disability. I'm ashamed of that, not proud of it. But if I end up being able to make a living off of trying to help someone else, what better way to give the devil a black eye than to take all the evil that he has given you in your life and turn it around and use it to help someone else and take care of yourself. And my mama's prayers all come true. And I believe that's going to happen. I believe it is. I didn't know what to think at first, but you guys have given me hope. You really have. And I want to thank every one of you for that. Everybody that's subscribed, everyone that's shared a video, everyone that's liked it, everyone that's encouraged me anyway, that's give anything to the channel. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I hope that God blesses, protects, and keeps you and yours. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.